Next month, our nation's going to pause, and it's going to recognize Veterans Day, a day when our nation collectively remembers that our freedoms did not come free of charge. There was nothing free to it. From our first days, they were bought, those freedoms, with the blood of our patriots, the blood of those citizens who put country ahead of self. Yet for many people gathered here this evening, every day seems like Memorial Day, especially for those of us who feel privileged to have these bonus days we live now following our years in uniform. And these are bonus days that too many of our comrades killed in action did not get the chance to live. Memories of our time overseas remains with us, recalling to mind ourselves and our comrades when we were younger, and we're willing to give our all for this country, and especially for our buddies. In my case, it's natural too, ladies and gentlemen, when I think of veterans, to think of our country, because they are inextricably linked in my heart and in my mind. For veterans as a group are unapologetic about the values that were given voice in our young country's Declaration of Independence. And those values that grew out of the Enlightenment, that were inscribed in a constitution that the veterans here in this room tonight swore an oath to defend with their very lives. I searched for words tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to pay my respects to all of you here tonight, veterans and non-veterans. I had to turn to others more articulate than myself so I could convey what I thought our service meant. Someone once said our country is like a bank. If you want to take something out, you have to put something in. For the veterans of the Iraq and Afghan wars, of these very poorly explained and inconclusive wars, of the first major wars that we have fought in our country's history, without a draft forcing some men into the ranks, it's understandable that the question of our service and what it meant may loom very large in our minds, for you most assuredly put something in to our country's moral bank. I'm no smarter than you young men and women. I just have a few more gray hairs than you wonderful young men and women who fought, but I do want you to rest assured that by your service, you sent a very necessary message to the world, and especially to those maniacs who thought on 9/11 that by hurting us, they could scare us. As President Reagan said so well, freedom is only one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for and defended by each generation. And you who stood tall in the first years of this new century, you proved yourselves worthy successors to the line of veterans stretching from Bunker Hill to Shiloh, to Belleau Wood to Iwo, Chosin Reservoir, Quai Son, and so many other battles. You proved that today's Americans are not made of cotton candy. From Fallujah to the Helmand, from Kandahar to the Hindu Kush, from the waters of the Persian Gulf to the air overhead, the skies overhead the battlefield, you demonstrated to the world America's awesome determination to defend herself and preserve her freedoms.